Welcome to the Unshakeable Talks with me, Katy Schweiger. This is not just another podcast. This is your girls' chat for business women. I'm going to speak to women in business, and we're not just going to have a normal conversation. We're speaking about what it really takes to build a business, to scale a business, why we are doing business, and what are the real challenges. What are the things no one actually talks out loud? What are the things which are holding us back? And what are the things which are really driving us to do what we're doing? So I believe running a business as a woman isn't harder, but it is different. So it's time we actually start talking about it. Let's get into it. On today's episode of the Unshakeable Talks, I'm speaking to Kyllie, and Kyllie is a founder and a marketing strategist. This conversation will really ruffle some feathers because we're going to speak about what it really takes to build 2 six-figure businesses in 2 countries while also being a mum of 2, navigating COVID, open heart surgery, and everything else around building business. Welcome to the Unshakeable Talks, Kyllie. I'm really excited to have you on because your professional achievements are absolutely amazing. So
thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Such a pleasure.
I want to read a little phrase which I've put together, which I think is very impressive and kind of nails down your achievements. Yeah. So you built a 6-figure business before you even became a mum. 12 years in business, 2 businesses, 2 children, 2 countries. Your son's heart surgery, you navigated COVID, and those achievements, most women would have stopped along the way, but you kept going. But before we get into this, I would like you to take us back where it all started.
Absolutely, and thank you. That's very kind of you. So for me, where it all started was I kind of got into the corporate world very young. I had my first job at 20. And I literally I loved it. I started at Elle magazine and I thought I had absolutely nailed it. I was so excited to have that position. And, once you get into that corporate world, I knew who I was. I'm obviously someone who is ambitious, and I hadn't traveled. I hadn't done any of those types of things. So after about 2 years, I went off to travel and all of that, but I couldn't stop myself. I remember having interviews with companies while I was in a backpackers in Barcelona. I just couldn't stop myself. I knew I had that bug and that's what I wanted. So I cut my travels short, and I came back and I took a job, and I entered the corporate world very young. I must have been about 22, 23 at that time. And then I started climbing, and I started seeing a lot of mothers in business, and I started seeing a bit of a struggle with managing the kids. And obviously this was pre-COVID, so there was no flexibility at all. And I'll never forget hearing a mom who was pregnant in her first trimester. I remember seeing her. She was visibly so ill. And now that I know what that actually feels like, I really have more sympathy for her. But I remember seeing her, and she was like running between the loo, and she was just having the worst time. And I just thought, I can never, ever put myself through this. And that's a very personal decision. I have absolutely nothing against being in the corporate world. I think that's amazing, and it's got its pros as well. But for me personally, it just wasn't going to fly. And also I had a very, very present mother growing up. So that it was hard for me because I wanted to be not only the present mother, but I had this huge ambition. So I thought, what is the wisest thing to do? Because I am someone who forward thinks. I thought, let me start a business before I have children so that I can get it up and running. And then, I had the plan. I was like, I had the boyfriend at the time. Yeah. And I knew that I would end up marrying Tom. And so everything was very, very clear what I was going to do. And as I say, I started the business very young and got married, did the whole, went to Pilates in the morning, did some emails in the afternoon. There was pre-kids and in South Africa, so I didn't have as many responsibilities.
Was it really this nice?
Oh, it was wonderful when I didn't have that many responsibilities.
Yeah.
I was living with my fiance, my husband now, and there wasn't the pressure that that we deal with now, like in terms of money, and there was always my parents to fall back on. I was enjoying it, and then of course the kids came along, and that's when everything changed.
So you started your first business, the marketing agency. Yes. Which you built up to 6 figures before you became a mum. That was a conscious decision of you because you always knew you didn't want to be in a corporate environment while having children.
Yeah.
How long before you actually became a mum were you starting your business? So what was that transition period?
About 2 years.
Okay.
So it was about 2 years. And yeah, so then I had my first child, and I thought it was going to be so easy. In my head, it was like, run the business and she's going to sleep like next to me. That was my, I was really young. I had that was my idea of what it was going to be like. And I quickly realized that wasn't really what it was, but I kept on building, because by then now I've had this baby. Now I don't really want to leave her. I tried to go into work share places and leave her the whole day, but I just didn't want to do that. And I didn't want someone telling me I couldn't do it. I just wanted to be on my own terms. But I still worked pretty much the same hours as you would in corporate. I just liked the idea that was on my terms, if you know what I mean. And then I had my second baby, and that was COVID. And things started with the business, obviously, at that time. I was in South Africa at this time, just to be clear. And with the business, it was difficult because everyone was uncertain. I lost a few clients. I was really stressed out. I had a difficult pregnancy. And as you know, as I've explained, my son had a really bad heart condition when he was born, and he had to have open heart surgery at 2 weeks old. So that was really scary, because obviously you have this 2-week-old baby going through an 8-hour open heart surgery. And, I had to make a very big decision at that time. Everybody was in my corner. Everybody could understand if everything fell apart, Yeah. It would have been an easy story to tell,
Very acceptable, wouldn't it?
Very acceptable.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to close the business down. I had to take on this responsibility.
Why didn't you?
Because again, it's the forward-thinking Kyllie. It's always what I want for the future. Maybe it's to my detriment, but I always think ahead. And I thought there was 2 ways that surgery was going to go. He was either going to be, healthy baby boy, which he is amazingly, and thank God.
Good, thank God.
Or he was going to be somebody that needed assistance. There was a lot of routes that things could have gone.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if I stop working now, and what happens if we run into money problems and all that kind of stuff? I'm going to have to go back to work, because there's no way I can rebuild this from the start again. Well, maybe I could have. But I was already earning a lot of money. I was enjoying the money. I was enjoying the freedom. And I didn't want to do that. So I didn't. And it actually saved me, honestly. I think the work saved me, because I would work throughout this while he was there. And, I still think, and I'll talk to him about this one day. I will talk to him about it, and I think he would have given me a high five for it, because
we spoke about this in our pre-call, and you described this moment about when he was in surgery and you were answering emails outside, and I know for a fact I used to be that mum as well, and I'm still that mum, and I know there is a lot of judgment around this. There's a lot of guilt which we also feel at certain periods of time, even though we know it's for the better and we want to do this. Was there ever a moment where this guilt kind of took over slightly?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I felt
what
terrible.
What kept you going? Because this is, I think, where a lot of women kind of fall short for themselves.
What kept me going is that when he came out, I was going to be able to continue to be there for him if I kept my business alive. I also had a toddler at home, and I knew that she needed me. My family needed me. And as I said, my mom was always that person that was there for us all the time. So I wanted to be both. I always wanted to be both. I wanted to be a career woman, and I wanted to be a present mother. And to do that, I had to keep going. And I have a certain resilience that I'm very proud of, because there were a lot of moments in that situation where I doubted myself, where clients stopped emailing me because they felt sorry for me, and I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to keep going for him. It was for him. It was for future him, future us. So yeah, I've kept going. And ever since I've kept going, it's always been for them, and it's always been for us. Even with the immigration and all of that kind of stuff.
Talk me through the immigration, because you came to the UK, and I can relate to this because I did that 23 years ago now, not nearly 24 years ago. And I found it quite difficult at the time. I didn't have a business at the time. I built my business when my daughter was 4 years old, my first business. I can't actually imagine or maybe actually if I would have had a business, would have been easier, would have had a purpose by moving through the immigration process. But talk to me about this, because since then you've also started your second business.
So actually, I think it was probably the best possible thing, to be honest, because it kept me so connected to South Africa, which is a place I absolutely love. And yes, we moved to get our children passports, get them just secure their futures. We didn't know what was going on in South Africa at the time.
Yeah.
There was we love it and we go back there all the time. So it was really, really a special way for me to stay connected. So what I did was I kept my South African clients, and yes, I was earning the rand while living in the UK and paying for everything in pounds. So it was difficult, but it allowed me a bridge to keep some money coming in so that I didn't have to go into corporate.
Yeah.
But during the time, then I started attracting some UK business. So I just went full back into sales mode when I got here, and went into and got business here. So I'm still kind of a bit bridged because my team is still in South Africa, and I love my team. And so they're still there. And I still have one or two clients that are in South Africa, and it's been a way to just stay connected to the country. So yeah, it was a good thing, and it kept me sane, to be honest with you. It was that piece of my identity that stayed with me even through the change. So yeah, I'm glad I did it.
I think that's a really powerful statement to make. It's your piece of identity which stayed with you, because I think that's exactly what it comes down to. It was familiarity. That's what you knew. You worked so hard for all those difficult parts to build this, and it was always your life vision for you, your family, and your children. So you still have this marketing agency in South Africa, which is extremely successful, but you also started another business in the UK where you have a little bit of a different spin to it. And I find this really interesting. So I really want to talk to you about this today.
Okay.
Tell me about it. Tell me what it is and why you structured it the way you did.
Perfect. So the agency, which is a traditional digital agency, so we do kind of social media, websites, and marketing, digital marketing, all that kind of stuff. The team is based in South Africa. That is called United Branding, and I do have clients here and in the US actually. So I'm here, and my clients for that business are kind of all over the world, really. And it's still running. It's still doing really well. And I am obviously still in that business. But the future of where I'd like to go is this consulting space. So what I've done is I've realized there's kind of like a new era of business for me, and I've been doing the agency since I was like 26 years old. So it's just a different direction, and it's taking a lot of learnings from the agency and packaging it into a way that I think product-based founders would benefit from. So basically what I'm doing now is I am a marketing strategist for product-based founders. And what I do is I will come into your business and I will look at everything that you're doing from a marketing perspective. A lot of small businesses, founders are kind of doing everything to tick certain things off their list.
Yeah.
Okay. So we go, oh, I am starting this new candle business, and what do I need to do? I need to get a website. So we go and we get a website, and we get John down the road to do the website. Then we go, okay, that's done. Now I need to find a social media lady, and I go and find the cheapest one or somebody that my sister's friend knows or whatever. Then suddenly it's a case of, I'm getting a little bit of money in, so I'm going to get the ads lady. Then I need to send an email, and everything becomes this really sporadic kind of isolated ecosystem. And what I often see happening is, you get these spikes in business and everyone thinks, this is great and I need to add more ad spend or do this. And no one's talking. So the ads lady isn't talking to the social media lady. No one's really talking because they're not on retainer for that. They're all just getting paid their small little bit, often underpaid because you're a small founder, and they're just doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then you as the founder don't realize, because you just assume that it's everyone else's duty, but you as the founder are still the marketing manager. There is still a marketing manager, and that's why big agencies have a marketing director or marketing person of some sort, and then they hire agencies. It's because there is somebody in the business that needs to either bring everything together and create a cohesive ecosystem. And that's where small businesses that are just starting and they don't have any marketing experience are lacking. And now this is where I often see that they are missing out on sales, because they don't have a strategy.
Yeah.
So I decided, after seeing this so many times, because often what would happen is that these businesses would come to me and in the agency situation, and they would ask me to do my agency, they would ask me to do social media or whatever it was, or email marketing or whatever it was. And I'd be like, yeah, sure, of course. And I'd quote them for 5 emails a month and 10 posts on social media or whatever. And then I'd be doing everything. My designers would be doing it, these beautiful emails, beautiful social media posts, but they wouldn't necessarily always see the results. And I'd be looking at them going, okay, but what's the bigger plan? Have we got campaigns coming up? What are we doing for X? How is this working with this? And they would assume that was my job in the agency, but it wasn't. My job was execution. So I ended up being this strategy layer without being paid for it.
Yeah.
And I was bringing everything together for them because that's what I love to do. And then I just realized, no, this is what I have spent the last 15 years figuring out, doing hands-on, doing before AI was around, writing strategies from the first word before AI. I know what I'm doing. And so I thought, imagine if these founders could come to somebody like me as a consultant and have me as their kind of marketing manager, but not be paying for a fractional CMO, you know what I mean? Fractional marketing officer or a huge strategy retainer, and just be paying for somebody to come into their business, look at everything, tie it all together and give them a plan that they can execute.
I
and
think
help
that's
them
genius.
along the way. I think it's genius too.
I think it's absolutely genius, and I'm coming from a consumer's point of view and from a founder's point of view. It's really, really overwhelming. I always say, generally speaking, knowledge is power. But I find myself specifically currently in the situation myself where I don't know how every single system I'm using is working. I don't know the step-to-step what everybody in my team is doing, and I really should be knowing this, because if I don't know it, and I have made this experience way in the past with my old company, you can sell me anything. Theoretically. I'm not that naive anymore, for sure, but I would like to understand the basics of things. I don't need to micromanage, but if you understand the basics of things, you know if it's needed, in what capacity it's needed, and where to really focus, put your focus on. So I think what you're doing is absolutely genius. Yeah,
thank you. And I just want to touch on that, in that a lot of people I've had come back to me and say, yeah, but they don't have time to learn marketing. That's not what they want to do. And my answer is always, this is specifically why I've really niche in what my offering is. It's for founders specifically, because founders care. Founders want to know what's going on in their business. I'm not here to teach you marketing.
Yeah.
What I'm here to teach you is this is what happens to everyone. The next person that emails you and says that they can get you 20 leads for nothing or whatever, understand where that fits. Understand if that's necessary, because I promise you, 9 times out of 10, that money that you're spending, I might say to you, don't spend that. Rather, let's take that money. If you've got that extra budget, let's take that money and let's put it into ads. Or let's take that money and rather, actually, what you need is a shoot. Or, yesterday even I was doing a strategy and I was like, no, they're overpaying. They're overpaying for X supplier. So I might actually save you. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I don't
Yeah.
think you have to learn marketing. I have no intention to learn marketing. But you do have to have a basic knowledge. You have
Yeah.
to understand it. And I also think, do you find some founders or business or women in business in particular, again, I was guilty of this as well, are trying to actually learn everything before they execute, before they do certain things, which is impossible. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
Also, it's a capacity thing. You don't, nobody understands everything. That's why we have people who are experts in certain areas. Then you're getting into the loop of micromanaging people, which isn't great either. So that's not going to progress you within your business. But I definitely found myself in my early stages of my business like this because I thought I have to do everything myself. Therefore, I had to learn everything myself. Therefore, I had to understand everything myself.
Yeah, because there's a lot of resources out there, right? So founders think they don't need to hire someone. They can just use AI or they can use this or whatever. And there's places for that. There really is. But my encouragement to people is start off correct. Start off by hiring somebody who will tell you what to do first. Because if you're starting your, and I'm going to use the candle business again. If you're starting your candle business and then you are immediately outlaying 10 grand to do a website, maybe I would have said, don't do that. Maybe I would have said there's steps before, and maybe you will end up probably wasting money if you don't. This is something I've learned along the way as well. If you don't do it properly, you end up wasting money. We all know this, right?
Well, you buy cheap. You
buy cheap.
pay
And
more,
it's not even necessarily about cheap. It's just about knowing what to do first, what's more important, what's going to get the results quicker. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And with the amount of experience I have in this field now, I can tell you that, or I can rattle that off quickly, and it's never the same. It's always different in each person's case, and that's why specifically at this point in this Dear Founder program that I'm running, it's 1-to-1 because these people need 1-to-1 at this point when they start out, and it's also very specifically designed at a price point that is accessible. So it's not for everyone, and you've got to be earning under a certain amount of money to actually be qualified for the program. But yeah, I wish I'd had that in the beginning. I even still wish,
So you wouldn't, your ideal client is not someone who is right at the beginning of their business, just having this idea of a candle business, wanting to start out and wanting to do this as a foundational piece to make sure they're taking from the offset the right steps.
So obviously I can help somebody with that, but that's not really where Dear Founder is positioned. And what I usually come in as is when you've started. So you've started your business, you've got an idea, you've got a bit of a budget, so you're doing ads and social and whatever it is, and I'll come and clear it up. I'll make sure that you're doing the right things, you're spending the right money. So my ideal client would definitely be a founder of a business earning, specifically for this program, would be around 1,000 to 5,000 pounds a month they're making. So it's not huge, and that's why
it's still at the beginning stages.
It's still the beginning stages, and obviously I have other programs that are for the people making bigger money. I've got clients making 70k on Shopify a month, but the specific one that I'm so passionate currently about is Dear Founder. And if you had to read the information about it, you'll see I've actually written it as a love letter.
I was just about to say, I have read it, and it is written like a love letter.
It is. Because that is how much I genuinely care about it. It sounds so cliche, but I've written it as a love letter, and I've called it Dear Founder because there's so many of these founders that I've seen that have made so many mistakes. And I just want to help you. I want to help you do the right thing and do it correctly, because there is so much power in just doing it correctly and having a plan and having a clarity and having someone also just who knows and who you can talk to.
Just pointing out the blind spots as well. It's like specifically in the huge field of marketing, there's so much. If I compare my business now to my old business was started like 23 years ago, so there was no social media, nothing around, so we didn't have all of those avenues. It was very straightforward, very simple. You did an ad in a magazine or a local kind of business recommendation magazine, so that was really simple. Now it's so overwhelming.
It is. It's really overwhelming.
So actually getting the guidance I think it's genius. But I want to ask you,
Yes.
why product-based businesses?
So, first of all, I really do believe in niching very specifically. So that a lot of my coaches have taught me this, and, getting the right people and getting the right fit. Also believe that for me, I've done both. I've done service, I've done financial industries, but product-based businesses light a fire in me.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love working with product-based businesses. I think I told you this as well, is that when I start working with product-based businesses, I often in the beginning will add myself as to their order notifications.
Yeah, you did tell me this.
Yeah.
And I was hoping you're sharing this
Yeah,
today.
I love it because, and my clients will attest to this in that I will get, I'm on my emails all the time, whether it's to my detriment or not. I mean, it is what it is. But if at 10 o'clock at night I'm scrolling my phone and I see an order notification from one of my clients and I see that they've made a sale, it takes me everything not to screenshot it and send it to them with celebrations. And, just that in itself, I knew that was my path because that really makes me happy. And I love it so much. And it's so great also there's so much power in sequencing with marketing and how the consumer thinks for these kinds of products. It's very different to service-based. Because service-based is a long haul and it's very hard often to tie your marketing back to a certain tactic. So it takes a lot of convincing and it takes a lot of, for the client, it's hard. It's often hard to get them to believe in what you're doing, and you end up being a psychologist a lot of the time. Yeah. Whereas with product, there is nothing better than doing marketing.
It's fast result driven, isn't it? You see instant results in terms of the sales. It's much more tangible as well.
It lights me up. Yeah. So I have loved it, and I've worked on some products that I absolutely love, and I end up being such an advocate for them. Like I talk about them all the time. I get excited.
I can tell.
I really do. Like I always buy from my clients, and so I thought, what better way to move my business forward than niching in something that I love,
So the Dear Founder program is it 3 months?
Yeah, it's 3 months.
It's 3 months.
It's 3 months. It is one-to-one and just me and one-to-one calls and me constantly checking in with you, and we one-to-one. So you really get basically a fractional CMO at a fraction of the cost and just on your level, not somebody sitting in a high rise and wanting to make more money than they did in the city. Just someone on your level.
Yeah, and it is also a great entry program into your world or into the world of marketing and hiring people for different areas within marketing. And that's the idea, isn't it? It's the entry level program where you get your foundations absolutely solid, so you make smart decisions for your business when it comes to your business, when it comes to the whole marketing aspect. So I think that's genius.
Thank you, Katy.
But I really do think it's genius.
I love that. And
I'm actually devastated I don't have a product-based business. But
we can always sell your candle because we've referred to
that many a time. Well, it's not my candle, but if Parks London wants to sponsor me, please send me an email. But I've always wanted stationery, actually. So maybe one day.
You never know. You know
you
who
never
to come
know.
to.
I absolutely do now. But I want to speak to you about something a little bit different. Because during our call, you said that you absolutely love working. And there is a lot of controversial about this for women to say this. I feel the same. I absolutely love working. I chose to work because I needed to work. And I know you said you're doing it for your family and for your children, but really you need to do that in order to be the kind of mum and the kind of wife and the kind of woman you envisioned yourself to be. So tell me a little bit about this, because the people... I've got so many questions. The people around you, for example, do they think you're crazy? Do you ever get like any negativity thrown at you because you're always working? I imagine you standing on the school gate with your phone out doing emails. I imagine you walking up at the school, pick up in your car, just answering a quick message before you actually get out to get your child. Am I correct?
I feel like you've been watching me.
No, I've been you.
Yeah, that is who I am. So there's two sides to this, right? In that I really do love working. I am, as you could tell by how I was talking about product-based businesses, I do light up when I work.
Yeah.
I also love just advancing myself and seeing how far I can go. There is negativity around it a lot of the time. As I said, when my son was in the hospital, I didn't take maternity leave. I haven't done those very normal things
Traditional
to do.
things, yeah.
And to be honest, I can understand the negativity in a sense. I think a lot of people have picked up on things that I can completely understand because, someone once said to me, "You're not very present." And I was like, but I can take that. I might get a little bit upset in the time, but I get it. I'm not very present a lot of the time because I am all over the place. So I think I've got quite a lot of learning to do in terms of figuring that out. But I do think that I'm getting there through a lot of self-work, a lot of work on myself in the past few years. And I don't know, since I've got to my later 30s, I feel like I've changed as a person. I feel as if I don't need to constantly, I can still be someone of value to my clients without being constantly on my phone.
Yeah.
I've also learned to delegate a little bit more. So I definitely think I'm getting better. Yes, I have faced negativity. And as I say, I do think that there is a level that I've taken it too far. And I will admit that. I think I have taken things too far. I have burnt myself out without realizing it. But I'm also very much the type of person who can acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Probably more to myself. I can acknowledge it.
But I feel like you don't have to acknowledge it to the people around you. As long as you pick up on this and then can kind of pull the brakes on or change things around, I think that's the important part. I think many women are missing this part.
Absolutely.
Or when it comes to that point, they're retreating completely and burn down their businesses. This whole mentality of, I can't do this anymore, or I need to completely do something completely different, usually comes from a point of burnout, being completely overwhelmed with the life and business you built because you forgot along the way the kind of person you have to become or you are in that very present moment. So actually, I think it's great. It is a huge achievement to noticing when things are not quite right.
Yeah, and I think also this pivot to a different business has been my version of burning it down. But I love, as I said, like I really love my agency.
Yeah.
It's very much a core part of me. And a lot of the time, my people in my programs need stuff from my agency, and that works. But what I find happening in agency life specifically at the moment is that with AI, it's just becoming so much more fast paced because you can do so much, so much quicker. And I think that's why I've kind of tried to break away slightly into this new vision. So I think that is my version of it. I also think that in the last 5 or 6 years, if I had to say my overwhelm, being at capacity, all that kind of stuff has come from an immigration, COVID, and, having 2 kids, 2 young kids, moving them across the world, all that. And now it's starting to settle.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad I pushed through because now I'm getting to really love my business.
Yeah.
And so everything I've done, all the hard times where there may have been negativity or whatever, but I knew what I was doing the whole time. I was pushing through the hard times because now I'm in a space where I'm earning good money. I'm enjoying my business. I'm in this complete identity where I feel powerful and like I can take on so much more. I'm living in the UK, which is something I could have only dreamed of as a child, to come to the big city, and in that sense just feels like the world is completely at my fingertips and there's so much I want to achieve. I've just turned 37, so I feel like I've got so much more.
There's so much more to come.
There's so much more to come.
Wait until you come into your 40s, then you don't give a shit anymore about anything.
So I'm so glad that a lot of people that I meet and have got to this point, and they have this sense of knowing they're in their late 40s or whatever, and I'm like, this is so great. I've got so much longer to to build.
But you only get to this point by going through phases like this,
Absolutely.
like you went through. Like no one comes to this, wakes up and just feels like this. There always has been struggle, there always has been pain, there always has been difficult times. But the difference is you pushed through them. Like we all do it differently, but I know you just said it was your version of burning down the business, but I would actually disagree with this because you didn't burn it down. It's still very much your business. You just pivoted and adjusted it to the way so it works better for you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a huge skill. You may have done this subconsciously, but a lot of people or women would have never been able to do that.
Yeah, and it also caught up with my identity, right? Because now I'm kind of the face of the business, whereas before I was in the back, I never did advertising. I was just the person everybody knew did X. Yeah. So I was just constantly getting referrals and, because I did it, I never really changed my prices. It was just very much a wheel that kept on turning. And now I'm rising up to the occasion and being like, I've been doing this for 15 years, pre-AI, which I think is my biggest skill, is that I actually understand, and I've had to sit down and write a strategy with blank slides before. Whereas nowadays, people entering this world don't have to do that. Yeah. And that is where you really learn. That's when you think. That's when you've used your brain to think. So I think I see it as I'm in a really powerful position to help people.
I agree with this, but there may be some people out there who would say, are you maybe too stuck in the old ways and not
It's a very good question.
With the time?
It's a very good question, and I think it's a fair question. It did take me a bit of time to accept AI, but now I have accepted it. And what I do is I'm very conscious as to how I use it. Yeah. Because a lot of people out there can sell you a marketing strategy. You can download a marketing strategy in 5 minutes. Yeah. But here's the thing. I will sit with a marketing strategy that AI has built with me after I've worked with it, and I'll be on version 15 before I will talk to the client about it, because I can read it and I can understand what they're saying, and I can challenge AI. Would say that with, I can say things that they'll use terms or they'll say things, and it's very easy to just agree.
Oh my God, yes. And
of course.
And it's so good that you said that. It's such a valuable point, because with AI, you can create anything these days within 5 minutes, but actually you have to understand it, because it all sounds great. Like Absolutely. If I put something in, you have to be able to prompt AI properly, so you actually get out what you want and what you need, and you have whatever it spits out, you have to understand it. And it's quite often wrong as well. There's always some sort of mistakes within what they're giving you. And if you can't spot those blind spots, AI is actually, I think, more damaging to your business, to your brand, and to your whole thing than it actually benefits you.
Absolutely. A lot of people would say that to me. Well, why do I need a marketing strategy? I can just download it. Yeah, but what happens in week 2 when I ask you how it's going, and you've just gone and done exactly what it's told you haven't challenged it, you haven't really understood anything about it. Yeah. So you're just they're saying, okay, increase your ad spend, or this, this isn't working, and you're just going and you're doing it. There's no challenging, there's nothing, and you don't really understand what you're doing. What are you going to do? Turn around and not pay, AI? Well, what are you really going to do? So I honestly take it as a really powerful space to be in from my sense, because I am reading what AI spits out, and I'm taking one phrase and going, what do you think about this? Or should we rather do that? And it's because I've actually lived it. I've lived 15 years doing this. And fundamentals of marketing doesn't really change. No. It's just the way you execute it. Yeah. So I've watched people make mistakes. I've watched all of it. So I've got all that experience to bring and to bridge it.
Actually, the pivot you made and creating the Dear Founder program, in terms of like you acting more as a consultant to a founder, is a really smart move if you think about it, because everything else from a traditional marketing agency could be outsourced by AI.
Absolutely.
Like they can create you a website. Yeah. Like Claude can do all your carousel posts if that's what you want. But having the expertise, like
Yeah.
the human expertise and the human eye on your work, that can't really be outsourced.
Absolutely.
So well done you. That was super smart. I don't know if that was intentionally, but
There was a lot of it, yeah, there was in the thought process. I mean, I would still say I still struggle to just accept Claude doing a website because, quite frankly, like there's still that beautiful element of design that can't at this point be created through AI. I still believe in crafting typography and crafting a beautiful website that doesn't look like mass produced. So, that's kind of where I have pivoted the agency side to being. There's never going to be a time where I'm going to work against AI. That would be really, really bad business move. I just want to bridge it.
Yeah.
I want to bridge the way founders think, because I think a lot of founders think, I will create the candle business, get AI to do all my posts.
Yeah.
I'll get Hootsuite or Instagram to schedule them, and I can also get AI to respond to them. Basically, I don't have to do anything. There is so much more to that. You've got to understand it. You've got to know what you're doing, and you've also got to know your business as a founder in the beginning.
Yeah, and you do everything still needs the human touch by the end of the day. I think
It does.
AI can be extremely helpful in many, many, many ways. But I do think even with the social media, I see a huge shift already that people want more authentic content, more
Absolutely.
real people. And people are starting to pick up on the AI content. So I think there is a shift happening already. How quick that is going to move to the positive, I don't know. I'm not an expert. But, well, like I said, I think your program is genius.
Thank you. Let's talk about it in 6 months' time. Let's see if it's genius. It's made me a millionaire yet.
Well, maybe in 6 months' time, you and me are going to talk about my stationery brand.
That's a good idea. That's a good
this is
idea.
how I would look at it. But before we end this episode, I would like to fire a couple of questions at you.
Oh, this is the scary part, but yes, let's go.
No, it's not. It's not scary, and I may cover some of the things we didn't get to talk about, which are based on the conversation we had prior to today. But let's go. Let's see where we go. So, you're a marketing strategist who works with hundreds of brands and seeing what actually moves the needle. Be honest, how much of what's currently being sold to female founders as marketing strategy is genuinely strategy, and how much of it is just well-packaged content advice with a higher price tag?
5 questions means I can't talk for a long time, is it?
No, you can. You just cut it down and you don't have to do less
no,
questions.
I think there is a lot of people out there that are doing it without any experience and just with AI in their pocket. So I think that there is, I'd say a good 50-50. You've got to be careful. Just you've got to be very careful with who you give your money to in this situation, because it's very easy to get AI to do a marketing strategy. Yeah.
So you said something brave on our call, and we did speak about this already, but you said that you generally love working just for yourself. In the school gate version of motherhood, the one that requires us to pretend we don't care that much about our careers, the most dangerous lies still tells, I believe this is still the most dangerous lie we tell women. What's your take on this?
You mean how, that we pretend we don't work in a sense? I think I've got a good balance. I still do what I want to do. I rock up at the school gates in my athletic outfit and go straight to my desk. And, there's no pretending. I'm not pretending I don't work. Good. But I like the version of myself that's at the school gates and just chatting to the moms. And then I like this version of myself that's sitting right here. Yeah. I don't pretend, but I do intend to be both. Yeah. That's get the balance.
That's a really good answer. And I think we women need to be more like this.
And I love being both.
Yeah, me too.
So
I absolutely love being both as well. I like to end every episode with the same question. I asked everyone the same question. So if you could go back and give younger Kyllie one brutally piece of advice, what would that be?
Structure your business correctly from the start. Understand the money. The money that comes in needs to be spent correctly. You need to set up your business with foundations to grow. Do not just get that money in your account and think you can go shopping. That is not what it's about. So I think that my biggest advice, and something someone gave me at one stage, was understand the money. And it's some mistakes I've made. I've had some high cash months and just felt powerful and blown it all. Whereas I should have invested it back in the business much longer previously. So understand the money.
That's the best way to end the episode. Thank you for coming on the Unshakable Talks.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Unshakable Talks. Please make sure to give us a follow and come back next week for another great conversation with another amazing woman. But I also want you to come to my event I'm hosting very soon. If you like listening to my episodes, if you like meeting the women I'm putting on the Unshakable Talks, you will absolutely love my event, because you're actually going to be in the room with the women from the podcast or women who do similar things. Tickets are only £10 and everything goes to charity. A charity I chosen because it aligns fully with the values of the Unshakable Talks and with myself. The link is in the show notes. Get your ticket now.